People from all across Canada travel to Ottawa each year to attend the Remembrance Day ceremony in the capital. Canadian Ranger Kevin Langlands and Canadian Unity Fund scholarship recipient Natasha Roberge were both at today's ceremony. Thank you both for joining us. Natasha, I want to start with you. You were here and you have a very special role as a scholarship recipient. You received a scholarship as one of the children of Canada's fallen soldiers. Your father was Warrant Officer Roberge. He died in Afghanistan. Can you tell us a bit about your dad and how you remember him?
My father was tough exterior, but teddy bear inside. He liked to keep a cold front around his soldiers, but with us, he was really, really sweet.
And I heard a story from General Hillier earlier today that when your dad passed away, all the soldiers had little teddy bears. And you still have one of those teddy bears.
My brother and I, yeah, we still do.
What did it mean to you to be at the ceremony today and to see all of these 20,000 Canadians who came out to remember?
It's hard to believe that there were 20,000, but being at the Capitol was very, very heartwarming, and seeing other people come out, I love seeing Canadians express how much they support the troops.
Kevin, you came quite a ways to be here. You're a Canadian Ranger. You guys patrol typically the far north in your distinctive red sweatshirts. That's how we can always recognize you. Can you tell us a bit about why you decided to come to Ottawa? What drew you to the capital for this very special day?
Well, every year the Canadian Rangers will select a group of people to come to Ottawa to remember those who have sacrificed so much for our country and our freedoms. And it's on a rotating basis. Every 3 years a different company will get the opportunity, and so it makes it all the more special if you're selected and you're given the privilege of coming. And I'm excited to have the opportunity.
I think that not everyone's clear on what the Rangers do. It's a very important and interesting job, so I'm wondering if you could just describe for us a bit of what the day in the life of a Canadian Ranger looks like.
The Canadian Rangers have a motto. It's vigilance. It means the watchers. And essentially we are the eyes and ears of the Canadian forces and the government in remote areas, coastal areas, the north. People see it predominantly as the north, but there's been a lot of attention on that over the last number of decades. But we really are coastal as well. In fact, the Canadian Rangers started in British Columbia initially. So we patrol areas. We look for things that are different. We're often the first people on the ground if there are search and rescue needs required. We're kind of a point of first contact for other emergency providers for assistance.
And a significant amount of risk, because the north is a very dangerous place to operate. So are many of the other areas being extreme cold. If anything goes wrong, it can be your life very quickly. Natasha, you have been an incredibly strong person through this. I interviewed you earlier today, and your strength just struck me, and your passion for this. And you've decided that you would like to be a teacher. And I think that you described something very interesting in why you want to be a teacher and one of the things you're hoping to communicate to your students.
I think it's important for us to let kids know that it still touches close to home. It's not just World War I, it's not just World War II. It happens to people that you know. And I feel like if I can contextualize that with students, the Remembrance Day will matter more to them.
When you were at the ceremony today and you looked at the crowd, you commented that there was something of particular interest in it in terms of the makeup and the composition, that you felt a lot of people there probably hadn't been born in Canada.
I think it's really special that Canada takes in a lot of immigrants and that they still come and celebrate Remembrance Day. It's really touching to see the support.
Kevin, what do you want people to know, as someone who's in the uniform, who has sworn to put your life on the line for this country? We all stop on November 11th and we remember. But there are soldiers sacrificing their safety and sometimes their lives every day of the year. What do you want people at home to know about what you do?
Predominantly, it's about sacrifice. It's about the willingness that people, and military personnel and civilian personnel that serve in conflict, they go and they are willing every day to risk themselves for us. And I want people to take away that it's the sacrifices that they make for us that make our lives on a day-to-day basis safe. And particularly, I'd like to thank Natasha, because it's people like her, the people who lose directly, personally, that really make today important.
Absolutely, Natasha. What do you want people at home to know? Clearly, this is very personal for you, and you've come through it with such strength and such grace. You have a very profound message.
I just want people to know that we're all human, and just to remember that there are people that serve our country every day. And like you said, today we all stop and remember, but you have to try to remember every day that the reason your life is so great in Canada is because we have people in the Army that are so great.
Tremendous sacrifice, as they say, by so few for so many of us. Natasha, thank you for you and everything that your family has done. You're a wonderful role model and example to all of us. Kevin, thank you for your service. We appreciate both of you coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Coming up, 2013 marks the 60th anniversary of the Korean War armistice. After the break, we remember the forgotten war.